Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another super cool radio interview. I'm your host, always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have an awesome guest making his third appearance here on the podcast. I am very excited to chat with him. Another person born in Indiana joining me for the podcast. Please welcome the vocalist for Altar De Fey, Jake Hout.
Hi, everybody.
It's nice to have you back on the podcast. It's been a while. I think it's 3 years, I think. So it's nice to have you back on the podcast.
Yeah, it's good to see you. That was a fun one last time.
Oh yeah. In Indianapolis, it was a fun night. So it's for sure. So but it's glad to have you back on the podcast. With Altar De Fey currently on tour as I speak with you. So how is everything going?
Excellent. It's been really good. This is our first real East Coast and Midwest tours. We've done New York, but haven't so much done the proper whole rest of the area. So it's been, we were nervous about turnout and stuff, but it's been really good. It's been really fun, killing it. The start of it, the first week was with our friends from Seattle called Nox Navacula. Really, really great band, and are just road dogs. Like, we love them so much. You can just stuff us all into the same tiny little van and we still get along. It's great.
that is a very good benefit.
They're amazing people. Very tolerant of me.
Well, that is a very good benefit, especially for playing shows together.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. We did Pittsburgh, we did Boston, DC, Portland, New York, and Philly and Richmond, and then last night did Cleveland, and now we're in Columbus.
Very nice. Well, it sounds like you're hitting some great spots and some great shows as well. I'm happy to hear turnout's been good and the crowd has been enjoying and turning out for you guys.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious. So like with touring and stuff, like how do you prepare for a tour?
I get real nervous and I'm like, oh wow, tour's in like 2 days or something. I should do something. And then eventually I get on a plane and relax. That's about it, I mean, what else can I do? I mean, I have a gardening business, so I try and, make sure that everybody that has an emergency or whatever is taken care of. And so it's like a frantic week of, gardening, and then get on the plane or in the bus, whatever.
So yeah, get everything taken care of, and then go out and play some shows and have some fun.
Yeah. So, and then completely forget about what I need to do when I get home. It's like when I'm home, I don't think about tour, and when I'm on tour, I don't really think about home. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't worry about tour before, and I don't worry. It's like I feel when I'm at home, I feel like I should work. Shouldn't I be doing something like to prepare myself? But I've been doing it a long time. It just kicks in. I know how to do it,
Oh, for sure. Definitely a seasoned veteran with touring and performing shows. So definitely. So do you get like nervous before any shows, or you just like show
Absolutely.
up and rock? Oh, really?
I get nervous before at least half of the shows. Sometimes I just get excited, but sometimes it gets into like, crippling, like I throw up and stuff like that. Like, somebody just told me, we played with this band Vision Video in New York, and I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God. And it was a big show, it was the biggest show Altar De Fey's played so far. And so, it was kind of a historic event. It was at the Bowery Ballroom, which I've wanted to play for years and years, but just, ships in the night. I never ended up in that venue, and I love it. The sound is so good, and the balcony is so cool, and the neighborhood's so cool, and it's a historic place. You know what I mean? So many of my heroes have been on that stage, and I've seen so many great shows there. So that makes me, it's nice like that. I get real nervous. You know what I mean? If it's a classic venue that I've been really meaning to do. I'm like, oh, it's a life event. I'm not worthy. You know what I mean? It's like I get all nervous. But this Scottish guy for Vision Video, he said, he's like, if you're nervous, that means you're humble. If you're excited, it means you care. And if you're not, and that means that you should be here. You know, if you don't feel either one of those things anymore, you shouldn't even bother being here, because that's what these people deserve. You know, that's the thing, is you're nervous that you give your fans enough. You know what I mean? And you should be, because that's your job. You know, that's what you have to do. That's what you owe them, you know? And that, and don't mess it up, and you're that's the only rule. You know, so it was really nice. I kind of really heard him, and it calmed me down, and all of a sudden I was having fun, you know. I mean, I always have fun, but there's just these moments of like, almost like, I think almost every performer I know does it, like, you check in with yourself too much, you know. Do I have to pee? Am I tired? Do I need coffee? Do I need a drink? You know what I mean? It's like you're constantly asking yourself if you're all right before, and it's just like drives you crazy, like it's a neurosis. But everybody does it, you know what I mean? Pretty much everybody does it. And so you jump around, do jumping jacks, do excessive, you know, vocal warming exercises that you don't really need to do or whatever. But yeah, some people tune their guitar for an hour, you know what I mean? It's like, I think it happens to everybody. And like like we were saying, if you know, it's one thing if it's just a little gig you've played 100 times, and so sure, you're not going to get as nervous, and you know half the audience and it's at home or something, then you won't get nerves too bad. But if you're out, you should at least feel a little bit of that, like, you know, like, I need to focus and deliver, you know. It's just natural. It's part of the thing.
Oh, for sure, definitely.
Part of the addictive drug of it too. I don't know. It's like this kind of dysfunctionally, like, you get it. There's it's adrenaline is pumping through you, and that's an addictive thing to feel, you know.
Oh, definitely. And I think it's also like, you just don't want to disappoint your fans. You know, like, if people came out, you want them to have the best show possible, and I think that's another motivator for it as well.
Yeah, and especially Altar De Fey, our fans are so well dressed. They're like so gorgeous and put together, and I'm always crawling out of a van, you know, like, I feel like I got run over, you know. Like, did I ride in the bottom of the van? And and everybody's looking so fabulous, and I'm like, oh man. You know, so I get like insecurities like that. But then they're like, oh, I love your shirt. And I'm like, okay. Thanks.
Well, that sums it up the best I can think of. But I did want to ask before we transition, because obviously you got some new music in the works. But before we do that, I'm curious for you, what is your favorite song in the set for this tour?
Well, it's still my favorite first best idea song or whatever, Veil of Death, that they wrote before I was in the band in the 80s. It's like from 1983. But it's just got this really spooky drive-in bass line and the breakdowns, and it's, you know, that was the song they sent me when they were like, would you like be interested in playing this, you know, mid-tempo post-punk death rock band? And I was like, yes. You know, that song just like, and so it still does it for me, you know what I mean? But the thing is, it's nice, it's night to night as well, you know. Sometimes it's like the ecstasy, you know, of the performance hits in, like, as we go into something else, you know, and it moves around. But overall, Veil of Death is my favorite song of ours.
Oh, nice. Very good one. So now, as we're talking about music, so you guys have I believe a new album coming out very soon. So like, what can people expect from this new album from Altar De Fey?
It's called Under the Waxing Moon. It's very much in keeping with our, you know, sound, but it's our first album where we have nothing from the 80s back catalog. It's all brand new songs. So that's, you know, kind of cool and kind of also nerve-wracking, you know what I mean? But I think it stands up. It sounds like us, you know what I mean? I think if we told somebody that one of the songs was from the 80s, they would absolutely believe it. You know what I mean? So it's like that's what we do in this band, is stay true to form. You know what I mean? It's like we try to mix it up as much as possible, not just play the same song over and over again, but keep the essence of the band's sound, just like as, you know, true to form, you know, as it should be. Like all our art looks the same, you know what I mean? I developed our like art look, our graphic look, and for the first album, and just we use it for everything. You know, we've used it on every album, and that's part of our thing. It's like it's going to be an Altar De Fey product. You know what I mean? True to form, the thing.
Well, it's good to have some familiarity, you know, with it, with the artwork and everything. But I'm very excited to check out this album because obviously I like the previous music with everything, because it just has that nice, like, it's eerie, it's spooky, it's just, it's very unique, and I really don't know how to describe it, but like I just dig the whole vibe of Altar De Fey.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's punk rock still, you know what I mean? It's like at the beginning, like the divergence of what people thought of as goth and punk were not that, you know, it was like Susie was a punk band. The Damned obviously is a punk band and also a goth band, you know? So it's sort of in that in between. It's still drums and guitar driven, but so, you know, it's still rock, but it's like on a real spooky, dark side, and kind of, you know, experimental.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. So I'm kind of curious. So like you kind of, you know, mentioned about the writing and recording process, but like for this new album, was it, obviously with having new material, was it a different experience compared to previous music you guys have recorded?
Well, we started as soon as this formation of the band started. We were writing new material, you know, immediately from the first practice. Like we have a song, I believe it's on the first album. Whoops, dropped my phone. I think it's on the first album, called Don't Snitch, and it was literally just the bass player was tuning, and we like started jamming to that, and it was like, there you go, we have a song. And we were like, wow, we really know how to do this, you know what I mean? And so we have been, all our previous albums have had stuff from back catalog from the 80s, and also stuff that we wrote, you know, in the teens and now in the 20s. So it was not difficult to transition to writing a full, it didn't feel different at all. It was the same thing. Basically, usually it's just like somebody brings something in and they just have a little basic sketch or just a lick, you know, that they're working on. And then we all, you know, develop that idea from there, is generally how it happens. There is a song on here that, it's all pretty much been, we collaborate, you know, it's everybody. It's not like we come in and I'm like, play the drums like this, play the guitar like that. You know what I mean? I have a loose idea. I'm like, here's the bass line I'm playing and the words I'm going to sing. But you don't have to play this bass line. It's just, you know, play whichever one you want. You know what I mean? But these are the words, and it'll have this kind of, you know, just basic tempo and key, you know, key changes. And they go from there, because it would be really dumb of me. They're all very, very talented. It would be stupid for me to tell them what to do. They would undoubtedly be a simpler, you know, not as cool idea. So, yeah, it's best that we all just stay in our lane and do it together, you know. So that's a nice thing about it. It really is a very collaborative band. That's part of how we stayed together so long, I think, is because of that, you know. Nobody is like, just, I'm the boss, do this. And, you know, we all feel very invested, even though it's a legacy band that, like, you know, I joined so many decades after it started, you know what I mean? And it's like, but still I feel very, since the beginning I felt invested in it, like it's like I'm part of it, you know.
Oh, for sure. And it definitely, and it shows in the music as well, and shows in your incitement, enthusiasm that, you know, throughout this interview and your live show and all of that, it shows in every aspect.
Yeah, Yeah.
So now, as we're closing out this interview, so kind of curious. So, what's kind of the rest of the year looking like for Altar De Fey?
Well, we are obviously we're coming to Indy. We're playing Columbus tonight. We're doing Chicago, Milwaukee, and I think I'm forgetting something, but we're doing the rest of the Midwest. Detroit, of course. How could I forget? And then we're going home for a couple, maybe week and a half, and then we're going to Europe and doing a couple weeks out there. We're doing a festival in Poland. It's called the Return to Batcave Festival, and our album in Europe is put out by Return to Batcave, and but it's like a festival and it's a label, run out of Poland. So yeah, and then in America we're on Transylvanian Records, and so they're going to do the official release, and that'll happen. But the official release happens after we get back. No, the official release happens in between. We're going to play at home in Oakland and do the official release. And hopefully at that same show we have a new video that we just did for one of the songs. It's called Judith with the Head of Holofernes. And it's this story from the Bible where St. Judith chops off the tyrant Holofernes' head. And I play Holofernes and our friend plays Judith. And it'll be our first like comedic output. It's like spooky and it's dark, but it's also funny. It's like a splatter movie video, like just ridiculously excessive blood and my head on a platter. Not to give too much away, but it'll be the first thing we've ever done that is outright, like, there's been sense of humor before, but not like outright funny, you know what I mean? So that's exciting, and hopefully our fans won't be too upset with us, you know what I mean? I think they're going to get the joke. It came out so beautiful. Our friend Marcel did it, and she's just great, amazing videographer, and we have the guys that do color for Pixar and like Star Wars and stuff happened to see a clip of it, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna do the color for you. This is so good!" And so they just did it for free. So it's gonna be like really high quality, So that'll be cool. I'm excited for it.
Well, that sounds incredible, it really does, and so that is a very cool thing. I'm excited to check it out. So
yeah, I will forward it to you for sure. Yeah.
Very good, very good. Well, Jake, thank you so much for stopping by Super Cool Radio. It was awesome to catch up and chat with you again. I hope the rest of the tour goes well for you guys, and I'm definitely very excited to listen to more new music from Altar De Fey.
Yeah, thank you so much, Matthew. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, sir. It really is.
Likewise. I'll leave some links for Altar De Fey in the description of this podcast. Please check them out. Make sure to see them live any chance you can. But for Jake Hout of Altar De Fey, I'm your host always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Super Cool Radio. And remember, stay frosty.